What's up guys, back with another video, and this time the second and final part of my rumors and leaks about iPad 2021, both iPad Pro Mini LED as well as iPad Mini 6. If you haven't seen the first part, I will link it down in the description. But now in the second part, I have a little bit of new information considering both Mini LED iPad Pro as well as iPad Mini 6, so I will share it with you guys, as well as I will give my final predictions considering iPad Mini 6 and iPad Pro, how exactly they are gonna be, what the specification of these devices is gonna be. Of course, this is not official info. Of course, I don't have some special sources, but based on Apple's track records and based on the rumors and leaks that we've been getting literally for months, now I think I have pretty accurate image of both iPad Mini 6 and 2021 iPad Pro, so I can give you some nice and exciting details about the lineup that is gonna be presented just a couple of weeks from now. So let's get to it. And the first device I wanna talk about is the Mini LED iPad Pro, the 2021 version, for which personally I'm really excited, and I want to share with you the first really exciting news for me at least. Rumors finally suggest that there is also gonna be 11-inch version. Yes, that's right. In my last video I wasn't necessarily sure if the 11-inch version would be here, but now more and more rumors and leaks suggest that it might be the case, so Apple would launch two iPads, 12.9-inch iPad Pro and 11-inch, just like they always do. And since the 2020 models weren't some major upgrades, we just got a couple of minor features like better microphones, better cameras, more RAM, and better sustained performance, overall performance of our iPad Pros. This year I expect them to do exactly opposite, which is not really upgrading some minor things like they used to a year ago, but rather focusing on some major things like processor and display, which is the case and what is exactly some rumors are suggesting. So the first thing of course is the display, and current iPad Pros have LCD displays 120Hz, which are pretty color accurate and overall are looking great. But I think Apple will step the game up a little bit and they will finally introduce Mini LED display with iPad Pro lineup. I don't think that's gonna be the case when it comes to iPad Mini 6, but that I will talk about a bit later. But when it comes to iPad Pro, I expect both of these tablets to have Mini LED displays, which offer better overall contrast, colors, as well as true HDR content, which is fantastic when we are speaking of Pro devices. I also expect Apple to introduce A14X processor, just like I said recently. I don't think it's gonna be M1 chip. That's definitely not the case, since it's more designed for MacBooks and overall their use cases. It's designed for bigger devices that will better handle the overall cooling and stuff. So I think Apple will introduce A14X, which will be kind of similar to M1 chip that we've seen in MacBooks. And one thing is certain, it's gonna be a monster. I mean, it's probably gonna smash everything that will be on the market when it comes to single core, multi-core and graphics. I mean, A12Z is already extremely powerful even for now, and A14X is just gonna be such a monster that really anything you will do on this iPad will just be a pleasure. So definitely that will be the case. And some people might wonder why just upgrading the performance, since it doesn't really even make sense. But I disagree with that. I think that it makes a lot of sense, since like if the apps open even a little bit quicker, it still adds up to better usage experience, as well as overall in the future, a few years from now. And if you are buying iPad Pro, you're probably buying it for a couple of years. So you're gonna appreciate it as the time goes by. So I'm definitely behind it. I like the fact that we are gonna get more power. It can never hurt us. When it comes to RAM, I expect it to still have 6 gigs of RAM. Apple's previous track records show that will be the case. 2017 iPad Pro launched with 4 gigs of RAM, 2018 had 4 as well. And now we have 6 gigs of RAM with 2020 model, and that's exactly what we're gonna probably get with 2021 model. Some people I think would expect 8 gigs of RAM, but 6 is pretty okay. iPhone 12 Pro has 6 gigs of RAM and people are loving it, saying that the apps can really be in the RAM forever basically. Same with the 2020 iPad Pro. So I think it's gonna be overall enough even for artists who use a lot of layers and stuff like that. The current Pro is doing extremely well when it comes to that, when it comes to overall RAM management. So I think it's gonna be terrific as well. And 6 gigs, I wouldn't necessarily complain about it. We are gonna have it probably for another year and a half in iPad Pro. So really just, it's gonna be enough in my opinion. Also, there are some rumors considering design changes, which I don't think is gonna be the case. When iPad Pro 2018 debuted, it was so ahead of its time. The design was so kind of revolutionary for Apple at the time that I don't think they would change it so quickly. Like, I know 2.5 years have passed, but still that's not enough to change the design dramatically, even reduce the bezel size. I don't think that will be the case. Nobody is really complaining about iPad Pro having too thick bezels and stuff like that. So I expect the design to be almost identical. There are some rumors saying that the speaker grills are gonna be a little bit smaller. I don't think it will affect the sound they are producing, since yeah, Apple will probably want to show off, and they are always showing off with the iPad speakers, iPad Pro stereo speakers, so they're gonna sound probably even better. If anything, I wouldn't worry about that. When it comes to the camera, they may add some improvements, I would hope, for night mode, and maybe overall a little bit better cameras, if that's possible. I mean, most people don't care about iPad's cameras, but there are some people who will. I will a little bit, I have to admit. So I don't mind great cameras on iPad Pro. Just like the microphones, which I don't think are gonna be upgraded this year, since they were basically upgraded a year ago and they sound a little bit better compared to 2018 version. So I think the microphones are gonna stay the same. And overall, it's not gonna be some huge upgrade that Apple is gonna introduce us, but the thing that will be changed, like processing power, display, and possibly other things, it's gonna be a very solid upgrade, very needed upgrade for iPad Pro that will be a great deal if you want to buy this device for years to come. The extra performance of A14X, better color accuracy, and overall better colors and color reproduction from mini LED display, that's gonna be a terrific stuff, and I can't personally wait for iPad Pro 2021. The next iPad I want to talk about is iPad mini 6. Yes, many people are actually waiting for this one, and I gotta say, I love iPad mini lineup. I have iPad mini 5 with me all the time, so I think that iPad mini 6 for people who like smaller tablets may be some tremendous product to get. And as I said in the previous video, there are basically two theories saying how iPad mini is gonna look. The first one is suggesting that it's gonna be completely redesigned, just like in iPad Air's 4 case. So basically it will be just smaller iPad Air with USB-C, slimmer bezels, A14 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and probably Apple Pencil 2nd generation support. That would also increase the price, but I don't think that people would particularly mind that. And the second theory, which I think is right, is basically saying that we're gonna get slimmer bezels on the sides with still a home button, lightning port, and Apple Pencil 1st generation with A14 processor, 4 gigs of RAM. And that is the theory that I'm backing up. I think that iPad mini is not gonna get complete redesign. I think it's rather gonna have a little bit, some minor redesign, just like reducing some bezels on the sides, and that will be basically it. That also has its benefits, because the price will probably remain the same. So for all of those who want a very powerful iPad, it's gonna probably have A14. Apple is known for putting their best chips into their products, so it's probably gonna have A14. And for A14, for $400, it's gonna be pretty good deal. And I'm not gonna complain about that, but because if the price is still the same and low, can't argue with that. Although I would love to see iPad mini being redesigned the way iPad Air was. I think that's what people are waiting for, and that would be terrific. But as I said, I'm not expecting that. I rather think that it's gonna be some minor redesign that we are gonna get, and overall some internal upgrades, like as I said, A14 processor. The display is gonna be probably very similar to iPad mini 5, which has pretty solid display, just like iPad Air 4. These are all very similar displays, similar LCD technology with features like True Tone, Night Shift, and P3 color gamut. So yeah, the display is gonna be similar. Apple Pencil 1st generation, I mean, if we are not gonna get complete redesign, I think it's still gonna be Apple Pencil first generation, and overall it's gonna be some interesting budget small iPad option. Maybe not what other would expect, like as I said, complete redesign, but I think it's gonna be a solid product, especially with that A14 processor. It's gonna offer a lot of power for pretty reasonable price. So I'm really interested in seeing the new iPad mini, as well as knowing your opinion about incoming iPads. What do you think? Do you agree with my predictions, or maybe not? Maybe you have some your own theories about incoming iPads. I personally would really love to read them, so if you wanna share them, you can share them down in the comments. I'll be really glad to read them since I'm really excited about these new iPads. Anyway, that will be this for now. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, you may press the like button, subscribe for content like that and much more, since I have a lot of videos planned for this channel, a lot of nice videos that I'm really excited about. And more importantly, be sure to be well. Until next time, and peace.